1, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Howdy, partner. I bet sometime in your life you thought someone felt some type of way, and then it came out that you were absolutely 100% wrong, and they probably hated you. Rebecca's Oxtail Sandwich tells a story about some pirates and some cheese sandwiches. One pirate comes on the shore, walks up this nice pretty beach, and finds a picnic table. He puts a sandwich down on that table, and then he goes to use the restroom. While he's in the restroom, there is a strong gust of wind and blows the sandwich onto the sand. While the sandwich is on the sand and the first pirate is in the bathroom, a second pirate comes along from the same cheese sandwich party. And this pirate also has a cheese sandwich. He walks up and he sees this poor man's cheese sandwich on the floor, and he goes, "Man, that poor fella, but man, that's one clean table. You should have put it on the table." So the second pirate puts the sandwich on the table. He then goes to use the restroom also. While he's in the restroom, the second pirate comes back, or the first pirate comes back, and he realizes that there's some other sucker's sandwiches on the floor. Little does he realize that is really his sandwich, and he unknowingly picks up the sandwich on the table and eats it. Is it his fault? When asking children 4 to 8 years old, they say it's the wind's fault. This whole thought process of figuring out who is right and who is wrong begins at 4 to 8 years old. But trying to figure out how other people feel in situations is a difficult thing to do. The scientist named Kroll figured out that this is all done in the RTPJ, which is a small region in the midsection behind the center of your brain that allows you to process and feel, or process and understand how people feel. It is only activated on CT scans when you are trying to think about what your mother feels about how you didn't do your homework, or those horrible grades you brought home. She probably don't like all that stuff. I found a story on Reddit. It tells a story about a grown man tells his daughter, "I would like a cup of coffee with no sugar." The man sitting there with his friend, his daughter brings back a cup of tea with 2 pumps of sugar. The father happily takes the cup of tea and drinks it. The kind young gentleman that the father is acquainted with asked him why he did not feel any type of way. The father told and explained to him that he, in his whole life, while his daughter had grown up, had taught her that coffee meant tea and that no sugar had meant 2 pumps of sugar. This entire concept influences the point that you can influx people's opinions and outlooks, and that you can temper and tamper with them to your willing needs. Medical Express has a story that scientists are beginning to test on animals electrical stimuli hooked up to the RTPJ to try to track and control what is being administered and what electrical influxes there are when you are feeling a type of way. When you are sad, it reacts one type of way. If you are told something and you feel happy, angry, like remorse, it will all signal off different lengths. If we can measure and control them, then we can then understand how it's being used. Life Science has a story about how this information could allow us to help things like anxiety and depression. A lot of mental health issues are due to chemical imbalances and things that come along with any other mental issues. But if you can come along with this issue, it'll go chemical imbalances, however, and that controls how you react. Your reaction is the nozzle to the entire process. If you can control the nozzle to what comes out of how you feel, then you can control what is being said and what the outcome is. If you can in turn flip a sad reaction to a happier outlook, then you can solve the diseases. On a wider scale, we could have a happier society. If you can have a large group of people who constantly feel empathy or any other kind of happiness, then we can have world peace amongst everybody. So to wrap it all up, the RTPJ is used to help you contemplate how people feel within your own system. The RTPJ is in your brain, and it is controlled with electrical impulses like every other muscle. If we can control, manipulate, and measure these impulses, then we could entail, control, and manipulate how people feel and react on a day-to-day basis to things in life. That is my TED Talk, and thank you, class.